Maybe you aren't sure. You're wondering, is this the path? Let's discuss. If you're wondering, is a career in dietetics worth it? My answer would be yes. This is a very fulfilling career, and dietitians do really important work. We are compassionate people, we're highly intelligent, we're highly educated, and from what I see and experience, a lot of us do give back to our peers through referrals and supporting one another. So there's a lot of friendships and connections to be made among other dietitians. Now, I have a whole other video dedicated to this topic that you can watch that I'll link, but a general overview would be, yes, becoming a dietitian is worth it. I will say it can be a little frustrating that there's a 2024 master's mandate, and with more education required, our salary doesn't go up enough for there to not be that debt to income ratio that's so high, meaning that when we finish school, our debt is so high compared to what we're offered for a pretty annual general salary in the field of dietetics, which is what really frustrates me, because as a woman who wants to be independent and pay off your loan and be able to have a decent quality of life, you do need a higher salary. And no matter how much you try to negotiate, which I help you with, a lot of those general jobs not only want you to have more experience, but they just don't pay well. And that's really frustrating. So that's my biggest qualm when it comes to being a dietitian, but knowing that, I advocate for helping you find alternative ways to make money, create additional revenue streams, and perhaps go into private practice if that feels good to you, because there are a lot of other income opportunities that pay you more than that 9-to-5 job, whether you're doing it on the side or full time. If you're wondering if dietetics is a difficult degree, the answer is yes. Surprisingly, more than people know. Now, if you are in the circuit at all on social media and you follow other dietitians, you probably see a pretty common post defines the difference between a nutritionist and a dietitian and talks about the schooling that's required for us dietitians to sit in, to even be eligible to sit in for our RD exam. So the schooling is really demanding. There's a lot of classes that we need to take, and to get into a dietetic internship is extremely competitive, and then to pass the exam is another barrier as well. Not to mention that most internships, now I don't have the quote, I want to say probably 95 to 98%. I'm gonna have to double check that, but let's just say most internships, you have to pay them. They don't pay you. There are a couple that offer a stipend, but those are just a few. That's the minority. Just a couple of them offer a stipend. So dietitians have to take all these classes, and we have to pay a whole bunch of money. So we end up being really smart, highly educated people that go into these jobs that are more often low paying, which is frustrating. So becoming a dietitian and the dietetics degree is very challenging. The coursework includes anatomy, chemistry, not to mention that you have to have a really good GPA to be able to be accepted into a dietetic internship. Now, they've changed a lot how the track is with coordinated programs since I became a dietitian, so I think that a lot of the efforts in dietetics are making things easier for you to complete your master's degree and your coordinated dietetic internship all in one. When I did it, I hodgepodged it. I did a distance internship here, I took a year off and did my master's program there, so I had this weird kind of roundabout way I did it. I was also working at the time, so I had to find a way I could, pay for my rent and my cost of living, as well as doing school, which I know some of you can relate with as well. So I just want to mention that it is not an easy path, but it is achievable. And there is a level of competitiveness because there are less internships than there are people who want to go into the internships, because the field is increasing, I think a little bit above the average compared to other fields, as what I saw on the statistic of Labor and Bureau last time. So if you look at the growth of the industry, it's, first of all, dietitians have grown a lot in the last 10 years. But if you actually look at the stats and the metrics from the Bureau of Labor and Statistics, I believe we're growing a little bit higher than average rate compared to other similar professions. So what does that mean? Unless if there's more internship opportunities, then that means internships get more competitive, and that might mean that you don't get matched the first time like me, or you have to figure things out, or you have to apply for a different internship that's not close to home. So these are things to factor in. It's totally possible. There's a lot of great support to help you along the way, but this is not an easy, sleepy path. The school is demanding, and the curriculum and the dietetic internship is competitive. And then the last question that I've already addressed a little bit, I've alluded to it, is do dietitians make a lot of money? And the answer is no. So to summarize, is it a good career? Yes. Is the schooling hard? Yes. Do dietitians make a lot of money? No. So the average salary is anywhere from $62,000 to $65,000 annual. And where that might not sound bad per se, again, it depends on where you live in the world, compared to the amount that we invest in school, that's actually pretty low. If you look at a nurse's salary and therapist's salary, we're paid very low compared to other similar professions. So understanding that, well, firstly, that's frustrating. And secondly, you can flex your negotiation muscles and you can build a revenue stream on the side, or you can go into a job that might be a non-traditional path in dietetics, like corporate or management or something of that nature. I will say management positions are not always easy to come by, but if you do like management positions, especially food service, that tends to be a higher paying job than some of those entry-level clinical jobs, at least the ones that I took. So are dietitians paid well? The average salary is no, and only less than the top 10% are earning six figures. So overall, we're not a high paid career path, but I do think that's changing, and I hope the stats come out in our release so we can see that every year we go from less than 10% earning over six figures to, let's say, 15-20%, and I hope that me and my company can be a part of that and increasing that statistic by educating, inspiring, and working with dietitians to help them create alternative revenue streams, start and grow their private practice, and know that, working a 9-to-5 clinical job is not the only option. If you like this video, I want you to check out this next video on screen about 5 steps to starting your dietitian private practice.